For 40 years, National Night Out has been taking back the streets one community at a time.
It's an important night, and tonight more than 70 police precincts across the city taking part in National Night Out. Joining us to talk about the different events taking place is NYPD Deputy Commissioner Tarik Sheppard. So great to have you here once again.
Thank you. Good morning.
And before we get into National Night Out, I want to talk about a few things that were making some headlines. And I want to ask you about a story that was in the New York Post first, Deputy Commissioner, about your wife's job at the city's Department of Youth and Community Development.
Right.
It's an exclusive for the New York Post. It was a $180,000 job. It seemed that in the article they were talking about the fact that this was never made public. It wasn't an appointment made by the mayor. What's your take here?
You know, when I think about it, I actually, Dan, I'm not even going to talk to you for that. I'm going to talk to Hayes. I think it's a shame that when women get certain positions that you have men out there that still think that a man must have got it for you. And the reason why I say that is that you have a person who went to Syracuse University for communications, master's degree, went to Cornell for another degree in communications, over 12 years of experience, gets hired for a job in the city, and you still have somebody questioning, how could you have done that? I don't understand the article at all. At the time that she was hired 2 years ago, I was a captain in the 28th precinct. I would love for this reporter to tell me what ties I had to the mayor at that time. You know what tie I had? I ran one of the safest precincts in New York City. I ran one of the safest, we had one of the safest years that the 28th precinct has ever had. So any mayor would be smart to have ties to a precinct commander that's keeping the community safe if we kept the 28th precinct.
Was the question about how she got the job or that it wasn't made public?
You would have to ask that to the New York Post, because what I saw there is that the article basically just said, you have a husband that works for the city and you got a job. There was nothing there that talked about uncovering anything where there was anything improper. She went to an agency. After any transition in the city of a new mayor, many people vacate the positions that they've had and new people come in. There was a position available and she went for a job.
So there were other people being considered besides her, as far as you know?
The reality is I have no idea. All I know is that she went for a position that she was very qualified for, and she works there now, been there 2 years. And there's nothing that I need to get involved with somebody who has the qualifications that she had.
All right. Well, let's move on. Also last night, NYPD's Chief of Patrol, John Schell, tweeted a very long message talking about desperation, somebody wanting to get clicks and views, and then he mentioned all the crime stats as well.
Right.
What was that all about?
I think the chief is frustrated with the relentless attack by some of and really start the two papers that it happens the most, which is the Daily News and the New York Post.
Okay.
I think he's tired of watching our cops address the main concerns of New Yorkers day in and day out, the quality of life concerns, the mopeds, the smoke shops, violence, doing all of the things that New Yorkers are asking them to do. And that good news gets this much coverage in their papers. Instead, they want to focus on trying to undermine this department on a daily basis. And it's both of them. And I think it's that frustration he's sharing his thoughts on behalf of the 35,000 cops in New York City and the 50,000 NYPD employees. So
is it becoming a back and forth now? It's
not a back and forth. You know, what he's basically saying is that if we don't tell our own story, they'll never do it for us. There's a lot of good going on in New York City. There's a lot of positives that's happening under this administration. Crime is down again. Subway crime is down. The relentless attack on quality of life complaints that New Yorkers have had, we're addressing it. The mopeds, the dirt bikes, the smoke shops. Just look at what's been going on. Look at the gang takedowns recently.
Yeah.
Everything that New Yorkers are asking to get done, the NYPD is doing it, and you wouldn't know that by reading those two papers.
So let's talk about National Night Out then, because it is about making all the streets safer. By the way, thank you for answering both of those questions for us. But you mentioned those gang takedowns, right? And that was huge. The one specifically in the Bronx that we covered here on Pix 11. We were the only camera crew that was there to be there for it. Let's talk about the ongoing operation for taking down these gangs and how kind of widespread you see it as you make the streets safer.
Yeah, if you look before COVID at what we were saying, lowest crime since the 1950s, the way we got there was working with our DAs and with these gang takedowns. When you extract the most violent individuals out of these communities, it's amazing to see how crime plummets right away. And it's such a refreshing time for people who live in that community where you can start coming outside again. Kids can play in playgrounds again because they don't have to worry about being bystanders of shootings. And so it is a strategy that we have to continue to employ. And I think that is very successful, and I think that the community wants us to continue being aggressive on gangs.
How many arrests did you make?
I'm not sure the total arrest. Remember, it wasn't just one operation.
Yeah.
There was 2 operations recently, but I do know that within those 2 operations, over 20 shooting incidents in those cases, but also at least 10 people were shot in those incidents were bystanders. People who have nothing to do with gang violence, just living their life in the community, getting shot by stray bullets.
As far as National Night Out, though, do you target or place these events in specific neighborhoods, maybe the ones that are dealing with a lot of this violence?
Right. Well, for the NYPD, what we do is every precinct gets involved in National Night Out, whether you're in a high crime area or not. All of our precincts get involved in National Night Out. Everybody does something for the community on National Night Out.
Let's talk about the weather. It's going to play a factor tonight, right? It's going to rain. You can't control what it's going to do, but you actually look for people to come out to the precincts as well for a number of activities. Is the rain kind of hampering any of this?
It may. We'll see, but we're still going to be out there. We're going to do our visits. We're going to be out there. We can still set up inside of precincts.
Yeah.
You know, we have our community affairs division out there, letting people know some of the programs we have, like you know, our cadet, our explorers, but also our aviation program, teaching kids how to fly.
Yeah.
We have programs out there teaching kids about finance. Yesterday, I saw community affairs take over 100 kids to a private golf club who had never played golf before, trying to get them engaged in the game of golf. So they're knocking it out the park. I would put them up against any community affairs program in the country. They're really phenomenal. Commissioner Mark Stewart is doing a great job. So, yeah, we look forward to days like this, but we're doing this every day.
I was going to say National Night Out is every day.
Absolutely,
For the NYPD.
absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, thanks. Have a
How's your
great
golf
night.
swing?
Terrible.
I'm with you.
My son can play though.